lost to a great basketball team tonight. I mean, they're an outstanding basketball team. You know, they've got so many weapons offensively. They're very difficult to stop. We out-rebounded tonight. We had limited turnovers to 9. We shot a good, but not a great, but a good percentage, 46 and 47, and lose the ball game. We just couldn't stop it, quite honestly. So many weapons on the floor.
Coach, what happened at the end of the half with that miracle three-pointer, and how much of a difference did that make? Because it seemed that it swayed the game George Mason's way.
Well, it was a big play in the game. I mean, we ran a little set to get Quinn the ball down low, and they doubled Quinn, and Fred Heldring, you know, bless his soul, a young freshman, had a wide open shot, didn't shoot it, and it ended up being a turnover. Fred will shoot that shot soon, but ended up being a turnover, and I mean, they buried an NBA three, or I don't even know where he shot it from, to be honest with you. But, a big turnaround in the ball game. You know, we played so well in the first half, and to be down 5 was a tough thing. And we did talk at halftime about not letting that hurt us, you know, not letting it hurt our spirit. And but they jumped on us pretty good to begin the half, and after really a good 20 minutes of basketball, we're down 8 all of a sudden. And it was tough to come back against that team.
What do you see in Cam Long this year as opposed to previous years, just in his manner and his confidence?
Well, he's a lot better player. I mean, he's a senior, and there's no secret to this. When you look at the best teams in our league, they've got great senior guards. And Cam Long is a great senior guard. I mean, he leads this team defensively, and he's extremely hard to stop on their offensive end. He can shoot it, he can penetrate, try to double him, and he gets it to the open play. He's a great player. I mean, he really is.
It's been a tough stretch on the conference, 4 games in 8 days for a lot of teams. Did it take that war on you guys in the second half at all?
Well, I think, you know, I said this before we entered this 4 games in 8 day stretch. I think it's tougher on a young team. I mean, you're not as well developed physically to handle, but that doesn't concern me as much as lack of practice time. You know, we need to practice, and when you play it every other day, you really can't practice a lot because you got to rest their legs. So that's a difficult time for us, and all we can do is grow from it. And next time we face it, be a little bit better. We're going to be good in the CA tournament. We're going to have to play 3 or 4 straight days. So we've got to learn from it and get better.
Coach, now you have to go on a 2-game road trip starting at James Madison. You gave them good battle first time out. I wonder if you can talk about how tough it's going to be to break that 4-game losing streak.
You know, it's hard to think about next week right now. We've had a tough week, so I hadn't thought about James Madison yet, and you know, we'll deal with them next week sometime.
Coach, you guys went to the line a lot more today as opposed to 2 days ago. I was just wondering if you could speak on that.
Well, we're driving the ball well. You know, sometimes you don't get the calls. We're driving the ball well right now, and you know, I think it's very important for us. You know, a team that likes to shoot the 3 as we do, when they crowd us, we've got to be willing to drive the ball. We're doing that right now. You know, they did shoot more free throws than we did today, but a lot of those were down in the last minute or two. When you're up, that happens. But you know, we got to the line. You know, what's amazing to me sometimes is we go through games like Delaware, we don't shoot the ball. We didn't take a single free throw the whole half. I mean, that's bad luck maybe, but it's also awareness of what we got to do in those situations. But you know, we got to keep getting to the line. It's a good point.
When I talked to you before the season, you almost reassured me that it would be the same kind of 3-point shooting team that it was last season. And tonight you didn't have bad numbers from outside the arc. George Mason's been nationally ranked very well in their 3-point defense and their field goal defense. How were you able to break through that?
Well, we executed pretty well. I mean, I thought the first half our offense was outstanding. I mean, it's a little disheartening to go in and down 5 at half when you play that well. But you know, quite honestly, we're just not quite good enough to win this game right now. But I thought offensively we were really good for the first half. You know, we out-rebounded them. We had 9 turnovers in the ball game. We shot it well, but we just gave up too many points.
Did you see any particular weakness in their defense at all today, as opposed to?
Not really. I mean, not really. I mean, I think today they just kind of tried to outscore us. I think. I'm not sure that they played. I mean, they didn't play necessarily lockdown defense, but maybe I'll give our kids some credit for that. You know, we're pretty efficient in that first half. But,
Coach, do you think they kind of figured out your defense in the second half? Because it seemed like the points just started at like in the beginning the second half. We just didn't.
Well, they score very easy on us, and it's a little frustrating for us because I've always prided myself in being a defensive coach, but they have so many weapons. I mean, when they shoot the ball the way they did today, they're going to be tough to beat, man. I'm telling you, because their post players are great scorers. When you double down, they've got great shooters. If you try to take the threes away, you're playing one-on-one in the post, and they proved tonight they can score there. So they're very difficult to defend. We tried man, we tried some zone, and they're tough. They're very good.
Coach, what is it going to take for you guys to pull out a game like a team against George Mason? What are you guys going to have to do?
Well, we're going to have to play great across the board. I mean, we really are. And I'll tell you what I told our players after the game. I'm going to say it again. I love this basketball team. I love this basketball team. We're not always perfect. We're not always consistent. There's a lot of youth out there, but I told them the same thing I said the first week of the season. We've got to get better every day and every week. Now, I don't think anybody's going to argue with me. We're a lot better today than we were in November. I mean, immensely better. Now, what we've got to do with this next 5 weeks is keep improving, and come tournament time, we're excited about that. We've got to keep our spirits up. We can't let this thing defeat us, and we got to keep trying to improve as a basketball team.
It seemed like you guys were really starting to struggle in the second half after a great first half. I just wanted you to talk about that a little bit.
Well, I don't know how much of it was us struggling as them just putting it on us on defense. They just took it to us today on the defensive end. We didn't really have an answer for them, so it's hard to win when you give up 85 points. Yeah.
How much do you kind of contribute how much did that momentum shift at the end of the first half when Cam Long made that long three?
Yeah, I mean, people have been hitting shots on us all year at the half, and that's definitely part of us not doing our job. Probably some bad luck, but yeah, it could have been a potential 6-point swing. We don't score, and they come down and hit a three. So yeah, it's not the best thing to go into halftime.
What did you see, or what did, in your opinion, happen differently in the second half than the first half? Because you guys were right with them in the first half, and then the second half just kind of fell apart.
We just weren't getting stops on the defensive end. It's hard to win ball games when you give up 80-something points. There was moments in the second half where we were going on a little run, and we just weren't getting stops on the defensive end, and then it's hard to come back.
Matt, how difficult was it there at the end of the half with that three-pointer by Long? That just seemed to turn the whole game around for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like Quinn said, people have been hitting shots on us last second in the first half a couple times this year, and it's hard to go in the locker room like that and recover.
That's happened about 3 or 4 times this season, you guys.
Yeah, it's happened multiple times. It definitely hurts our momentum going into the second half, but there's nothing we could really do about it. We did a good job contesting the shot, and just glad he hit it.
Yeah, sure. You guys kind of had a rough week this week. 4 games, a couple on the road, a couple little tough losses. How do you guys go forward from here, continue improving?
We go forward the same way we've been doing it all year. We got a day and a half off, which is nice and needed. So we're going to rest up, and our coaches have done a great job of keeping us upbeat. And we just got to get better every day. And just believing that eventually it's going to pay off. And I'm not talking about next year, I'm talking about this year. The character of the guys in the locker room has really come through this year. From man 1 through 12, to come back to work every day after games, some of them are just demoralizing. I mean, you feel like you're putting in the work and not getting rewarded for it. But I know that we're going to bounce back, and like we have all year, we're going to come out and compete the next game. That's all we can do. And so rest up these days and go back to work on Monday. That's all I really know how to do. And anyway, if any of you have any secrets, let me know. Be much appreciated.
What about the
The attitude of the team's good. We've always been pretty upbeat all year. We got high quality character guys on this team, and we're not gonna let anything get us down.
And what about facing James Madison next if you try to break the board?
Yeah, they're a great team, but we feel like we can play with anybody. And our next step is just hitting the shots we need to down the stretch to win some of these big games.